just like your ex who betrayed your trust. Cell phone salespeople have been misleading you for years, convincing you that a great smartphone has to cost a fortune, but that's simply not true anymore. Today, I'm going to introduce you to 3 of the absolute best ultra-high-value phones currently available on the market. Devices that deliver a genuinely satisfying experience without forcing you to drain your bank account. We'll kick things off with the most affordable option on the list, a phone that typically sells for around $100 or even less, depending on deals. And think, what can you possibly get for that little money? Well, I promised you something extremely budget-friendly, and I'm delivering. This phone tops out at impressive configurations of up to 8 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of internal storage, which immediately sets it apart from what budget phones used to be. Not long ago, paying this little meant settling for a tiny, cramped screen, but that's no longer the case. Here you get a massive 6.9-inch display with a modern 21:9 aspect ratio, a buttery-smooth 120 Hz refresh rate, and an ultra-responsive 240 Hz touch sampling rate. So scrolling, gaming, and general navigation feel noticeably snappier and more fluid than on cheaper devices that skimp on these specs. Of course, this isn't the most powerful phone in the world, nor does it try to be, but considering the price, it handles everyday tasks with ease. Social media, messaging, streaming, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook all run smoothly without frustrating lag, making it an excellent choice for anyone who just wants reliable communication and entertainment without overpaying. Battery life is another standout feature, thanks to a generous 6,000 mAh capacity that easily outlasts the typical 5,000 mAh batteries found even in much more expensive phones. Personally, I've been using one of these as my backup device for a while now. I bought it as a quick replacement. And if you want my full long-term experience, check the card up top or the link in the description. But if I had to highlight the 2 things I love most, it would be the incredible battery endurance, easily lasting a full day or more of heavy use, and its surprising durability. Despite its sleek design, especially in the color I chose, it doesn't look like an indestructible tank, but in real-world drops onto hard surfaces like concrete or rocks, it has proven far more resilient than I expected, definitely tougher than many pricier phones I've tested. I could even show you some drop test footage in a future video if you're interested. In short, this phone isn't trying to be a flashy status symbol like the latest iPhone. Its design is practical and functional, built to survive daily life rather than to show off. That's why the Redmi 15C is the perfect spiritual device for anyone who doesn't care about having the trendiest flagship everyone else is chasing, and instead wants to spend as little as possible while still getting a big, smooth screen, solid performance for daily needs, outstanding battery life, and enough toughness to handle real-world accidents, all in one remarkably capable package. But settling for anything less than the Redmi 15C would honestly feel like shortchanging yourself when there are clearly superior options in the same affordable segment. Or tell me, do you really think there's another device in this ultra-budget category that could genuinely outshine it in overall value? I'm curious. Drop your suggestions in the comments and let's discuss. Of course, for many people, the 15CS super practical but undeniably basic plastic design just lacks that wow factor and elegance, so they're more than willing to stretch their budget a little further for something that not only looks more premium, but also delivers noticeably more power under the hood, which brings us seamlessly to the Infinix Note 50 series, particularly the impressive S variant. This phone is driven by a MediaTek Dimensity 7300 processor that effortlessly surpasses 700,000 points on AnTuTu benchmarks, an absolute beast compared to the 15CS around 262,000, and in simple, real-world terms that anyone can understand, it means your entire experience becomes dramatically snappier. Apps open almost instantly with barely any wait. Loading times shrink to nothing, annoying freezes and crashes are far less common, multitasking feels truly fluid, and, crucially, gaming shifts from being barely tolerable on the 15C, where it's more of a token feature than anything enjoyable, to actually fun, letting you play a much wider selection of demanding titles at higher graphics quality and smoother performance, all powered by the excellent ARM Mali G615MC2 GPU built into this capable chipset. Fast charging is another massive win here, with support for up to 100W speeds that can fully recharge the battery in a fraction of the time you'd waste on slower budget phones. The screen upgrades are equally transformative, moving beyond just raw size to focus on stunning clarity, with a tall resolution hitting up to 2,436 pixels vertically versus the 15CS basic 720p display, delivering sharper text, richer colors, and a far more immersive view for streaming movies, scrolling social media, reading articles, editing photos, or literally any task that involves the screen, which, let's face it, is basically everything you do on a smartphone these days. And it's not just the picture quality that impresses. The panel itself boasts that luxurious double-curved lateral design, commonly known as a waterfall or edge-to-edge screen, instantly evoking the ultra-premium aesthetic of flagship devices like the top-tier Samsung Galaxy S series that first made this trend iconic years ago. So, from a visual standpoint, it's undeniably eye-catching, commands attention wherever you pull it out, and has this clever knack for appearing significantly more expensive and sophisticated than its price would suggest, which can feel empowering and stylish in the right settings, but might draw unnecessary scrutiny in others. That said, there's a valid downside to consider. Infinix is still largely an unfamiliar brand to huge swaths of the global market, and that lack of widespread recognition often sparks genuine skepticism and concern among potential buyers who understandably ask practical questions like, where do I go if it breaks? How do I find replacement parts or repairs? Will it still get software updates and run smoothly in 2 years? Where can I even buy decent cases, screen protectors, or accessories? Because at the end of the day, purchasing a phone isn't just about the device itself. It's about investing in a complete ecosystem of support, reliability, community, and long-term trust that some brands are only just starting to build, while others have perfected it over decades. And that's exactly where Motorola comes in, none other than the legendary brand that invented the world's very first mobile phone back in the day, a company that's been making and selling handsets for longer than most of us have even been walking this planet. For anyone who just wants a reliable, no-drama phone that doesn't try to reinvent the wheel with weird gimmicks or unnecessary complications, Motorola has always been the go-to choice, the safe bet that consistently delivers without ever letting you down. Picking up a Moto means choosing peace of mind, skipping the headaches that come with proven brands, and trusting in decades of proven performance that's stood the test of time. Right now, my personal top pick in this price range is the Moto G86, though the G75 and Edge 60 Fusion are also absolutely worth considering, each one bringing a sharp, modern design, serious real-world toughness with ratings that climb all the way to IP69 dust and water resistance plus genuine military-grade durability certifications. But what truly sets them apart is the software experience. Unlike so many other manufacturers, and yes, I'm specifically calling out brands like Xiaomi here, Motorola refuses to stuff its phones full of useless pre-installed apps that just bog down performance and spawn random bugs, and most refreshingly, it never sneaks intrusive ads into the interface, no matter if you're buying their most affordable entry-level model or their fully loaded flagship. Every single device ships clean, stays clean, and feels fast and pure from the moment you turn it on. Of course, these aren't the only standout Motorola's on the market right now. As I've been hinting, if you want my complete guide to the very best current Moto models that are truly worth your money today, quickly tap that info card popping up in the middle of your screen before it disappears, or head straight to the link in the description for all the details and my full recommendations.